I'd expect Harry and Meghan, the threat against them to be looked at in the same way it is for any VIP. And then if the threat is seen to be high enough, then the state will provide a level of protection to keep them safe.
Now, two former Home Secretaries have called for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to be given a limited and temporary security package until it's clear what their long-term plans are. Lord Blunkett said they could be given a medium level of security protection, which could be reviewed in a couple of years' time and upgraded or downgraded depending on the intelligence of the threat posed to the family. Philip Ingram, former British Army colonel in military intelligence who provided strategic commentary on intelligence sharing to police protection details during major public appearances and foreign royal tours, is with us. Philip, good evening.
Good evening.
I read a really interesting comment from Mike Tapp at the weekend, the former Home Office Minister. Police protection is not a reward for public service, he said, with respect to Harry and Meghan. It exists to prevent attacks before lives are lost. And that is a salient point. Think whatever you like about Harry and Meghan, whether they deserve it or not, what they're doing back here in the UK. But on a pure security safety level, do they deserve to have police protection, do you think, paid for by the taxpayer?
Well, that all depends on the level of threat. And there's a committee that sits and looks at the threat against members of the royal family, other dignitaries and other VIPs that are coming around. We have to remember that when Keir Starmer was first Prime Minister and got free tickets to a Taylor Swift contest or a concert, that Taylor Swift got police protection from counter-terror police. Her case went through exactly the same committee. So I'd expect Harry and Meghan, the threat against them to be looked at in the same way it is for any VIP. And then if the threat is seen to be high enough, then the state will provide a level of protection to keep them safe.
Could there be a happy medium? This is what Lord Blunkett told the Sunday Times in terms of that security. Perhaps security where you've got one or two officers who travel with the couple, he suggests, which could then be reassessed in a couple of years' time. I mean, there was also a report in the Sunday Times yesterday that they may only be here for 6 months.
Yeah, there'll be a constant assessment, and there will be a happy medium that's found. The threat is one thing that's looked at. The impact of any potential incident is the other thing, and then it's all balanced, and the right protection package is put in place. Harry, he is still son of the king, whether he is a formal royal, a working royal or not. Meghan is his wife, and they've got children, and therefore the impact of any attack or any incident that went in against them for the country and for the royal family would be huge. So this is something that will be looked at in the round, and the appropriate amount of protection given to him, and that will enhance any private protection that Harry and Meghan pay for themselves.
I mean, he is still in line to the throne, albeit a little way down now after Prince William's 3 children, but he is still in line to the throne. And look, his revelation, he said in his memoir, Spare, that he'd killed 25 Taliban fighters. I mean, that surely makes him a target.
Well, it does, but not as much as people like to spin it to be. He's a target by the very fact that he is quite an outspoken member of the royal family, because he is still a member of the royal family, even though he isn't a working royal. He attracts an awful lot of media attention, and because of that, he will attract everyone from the individual who just wants to try and make a name for themselves at one end of the spectrum, through to potentially more organised criminal groups or terror groups at the other end of the spectrum. This is something that will be watched very closely by the Joint Terrorist Analysis Centre. MI5, counter-terror police, other security organisations and international security organisations all work together. I know that they work well together. I've had a tap on the shoulder to tell me about a specific threat against me, and that was long after I left the military, and that was our security services keeping an eye on what's going on. So they're there for everyone in the country. The fact that they may then say that certain individuals need a degree of protection that is paid for by the taxpayer, that'll come down to the threat, and that'll come down to the impact. And Harry is of the sort of profile that would fit into that character, that category, in the same way that a number of other people do around the country.
Look, great to speak to you. Thank you, Philip Ingram, former British Army Colonel.
Thank you.
In military intelligence. Good to have you on. Cheers.
Straight here, please.
Just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could barely let you finish proposing. I said, can I say yes now?
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, can I say yes now? And then there was hugs and I had the ring in my finger and I was like, can I give you the ring? And she goes, oh yes, the ring. So no, it was a really nice moment. It was just the two of us and I think I managed to catch her by surprise as well. So.
Yeah.
Now, the royal family have always dedicated a substantial part of their working life to charity, and the Royal Foundation is a continuation of this tradition.
It's magic. It's pretty amazing, and I mean, I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
Tell us a little bit about your son.
Yes.
I mean, not my fault.
No. You know me, it's the opposite. The responsibility that we all have